In this video, I will teach you how to prompt ChatGPT-4 to solve problems like the AI researcher from this TED Talk could not do.
A different one. I have 12-liter jug and 6-liter jug, and I want to measure 6 liters. How do I do it? Just use the 6-liter jug, right? GPT-4 spits out some very elaborate nonsense. Step 1, fill the 6-liter jug. Step 2, pour the water from 6 to 12-liter jug. Step 3, fill the 6-liter jug again.
And don't worry, we are gonna go through this slowly in a step-by-step breakdown style so you don't miss anything about this gem of a prompt. We will also take a look at if this prompt can help you decide if it's time for a career change because of the latest AI development. I also want to show you how we can visually show what kind of solutions ChatGPT provides. So let's just get going. Okay, so I am over here at ChatGPT. I have picked the model GPT-4. Here is the prompt we are gonna start off with. Here we're gonna set the AI's role and we're gonna give it a task to complete. Before we run this, let's head over to our slide to break this prompt down. So the prompt reads like follows. Ignore all previous instructions. You are a logical and problem solver genius. Your task is to always find the best and most simple, obvious solution to a problem. Always break down this problem objects, numbers, and logic before starting to solve the problem in a step-by-step way. And then I go acknowledge this by answering yes. So why are we exactly using these kind of words? So we're just gonna take a quick look here. So I like to use ignore all previous instructions. This is, I don't think you have to do this, but I like to implement it. And the idea behind it is to reset the model's perspective for a fresh start. Does this work? I can't really prove or disapprove that. And then we move on to assigning a logical math and reasoning role. So this focuses the model's response based on the expected expertise. So I have proved this in some other videos that giving it a role, a persona, can really improve the answers. You might want to check my previous video if you want to dive deeper into that. And you can see we give it a task. This provides a clear and objective for the model. This is also beneficial. And then we have in a step-by-step way. And this is kind of the highlight of the whole video. So this really emphasizes systematic problem solving. And there have been some papers coming lately that shows that using this, let's talk about this in a step-by-step way, let's prove this in a step-by-step way, really improves results. And we're gonna see that in this video. And finally, I have acknowledged this by answering yes. This confirms the user's understanding before proceeding. I just like to do that to save some tokens, right? So it doesn't repeat the whole thing I just put in. And that is basically the breakdown of the first part of this prompt sequence. Okay, so let's run this now. Hopefully we just get yes back here. So let's see. Yes, I understand. I will apply this principle when addressing problems. Okay, so that's good. Then we can move on to our next prompt. And that is going to be this one. Before we break the prompt down on the slides, let's take a look at the problem we have in this example. So this is something I saw on a TED Talk with an AI researcher gave this problem to GPT-4. So let's just take a look at it.
A different one. I have 12-liter jug and 6-liter jug, and I want to measure 6 liters. How do I do it? Just use the 6-liter jug, right? GPT-4 spits out some very elaborate nonsense. Step 1, fill the 6-liter jug. Step 2, pour the water from 6 to 12-liter jug. Step 3, fill the 6-liter jug again. Step 4, very carefully pour the water from 6 to 12-liter jug. And finally, you have 6 liters of water in the 6-liter jug that should be empty by now.
The next part then is find the simplest and most efficient way to solve the following problem. Please consider multiple solutions. Start with the simplest solution first, then compare their efficiency and explain the best solution. Again, we have in a step-by-step. Here is the problem, and this is our problem, right? Let's think about the solution for this task step by step. So again, we go with the step by step, and that is important. Let's talk about why I chose this wording in the prompt. So find the simplest, most efficient way to solve the problem. This I chose to encourage the AI or ChatGPT to identify an easy to understand effective solution. And why did I choose consider multiple solutions, start with the simplest? This was to explore various different solutions and perspective, so we can use that later in the prompts, as I will show you. Compare their efficiency. This is to evaluate effectiveness and easy approach to determine the best or the simplest one, right? And again, we go with the step-by-step process. That is going to be highly important, as I will show you later. Compare efficiency and explain the best solution step by step. Again, this is gonna show later. And again, we have the let's think about the solution step by step. Encourage a methodical approach to develop problem solving skills. This is basically the whole prompt and the breakdown. So let's just run it. Now let's run this and see what we get. Let's take a look here. So you can kind of see straight away, we get this weird solution, right? Like if you're a human and you look at this problem, everyone knows, just put 6 liter in the 6 liter mug, right? But GPT-4 has some issues with this. We're gonna see if we can try to solve this by using the prompts I'm gonna show you in this video. So the first solution it comes up with is fill the 12 liter jug to the top, pour from the 12 liter jug into the 6 liter jug until the 6 liter jug is full. This leaves you with exactly 6 liters in the 12 liter jug. So that is very strange. It's an additional steps with there's no point in that. And this solution 2 is even weirder. I'm not gonna read it out loud, but that's just stupid. Repeat step 1 and 2, why? And this solution is also quite simple. No, it's not. Comparison. In terms of simplicity and efficiency, solution 1 is the better option because it requires fewer steps. Okay, but it's still stupid. So let's see if we can alter this. So we're gonna bring in a different role here and give it another task. So I want to break this prompt down in the slides before we run it. The next part of the sequence is now we try to bring in a different kind of role into this prompt sequence. You are a consulting logic problems expert tasked with investigating the best solution provided above to this task. List the flaws and faulty logic of the answer above. Let's work this again in a step-by-step way to be sure we have all the errors. Okay, so let's try to go through this. Consulting logic problem experts. This is a role, right? So it tried to emphasize expertise and authority when analyzing the solution for a problem and implies informed and knowledgeable options. So we go with investigating the best solution. This is necessary to evaluate multiple solutions and determine the most efficient and effective method for solving the problem. We have list flaws and faulty logic. So this encourages the AI or ChatGPT to do critical thinking, examination of the solutions presented, tries to identify flaws and help determine if provided solutions are valid or if the alternative strategies should be considered. And again, we have let's work it out step by step. So this is very important to break it down into smaller parts. Just some added context there. This is kind of how humans do it, right? We try to break a problem down into smaller steps to make it easier. And this is exactly what we try to do here. So yeah, let's just go and run this in ChatGPT and see what we get back. Okay, so let's see what kind of this consulting logic expert can do with the problems we have. So let's just click submit. Let's take a look at what kind of errors the consultant logic expert found here. So if we check solution 1, the problem here is the assumption that we can measure exactly 6 liters by subtracting 6 liters from a 12 liter jug. Again, it's just stupid. I guess it has some merit, like you can't really, if there's no markings. So without an additional device to measure this, the solution isn't guaranteed to be accurate. That's very sus. And again, we have the same problem here. In both solutions, the faulty logic lies in the assumption that we can accurately measure 6 liters from a 12 liter jug. Yeah, that sounds kind of stupid. So let's try to bring this up a level by involving another role. Okay, so we are at the final part of this sequence. And here again, we're gonna give a different persona and role. You are a master engineer resolver with 50 years of experience in logical problem solving. You will always break down objects, numbers, and logic before starting to solve the problem. Again, in a step-by-step way, you are tasked with number 1, investigate the flaws provided by the consulting logic expert. Okay. Number 2, rethink the problem again. Is there any logical way to make the problem appear more simple? Break down the problem, objects, numbers, and logic before starting to solve the problem in a step-by-step way that improves the answer. And finally, print the improved answer in full. Let's work this out in a step-by-step way to make sure we have the right answer. So let's take a look at this. So the AI Master Engineer Resolver role, this is exactly like why we give the other roles, is to emphasize expertise and authority. The AI's approach breaking down objects, numbers, and logic systematically ensures comprehensive and true problem solving. So this kind of lists up and sorts out the objects, number, and logics we have in the problem, as you might just about to see. Investigating flaws in the previous solutions provided by the consulting logic problems expert helps the AI refine the final solution to be accurate and efficient. And here we go with rethinking the problem. So this allows AI ChatGPT to explore alternative ways to make the problem appear simple, leading to more efficient solutions. So this is quite important because we want to rethink the problem again with all the context we have above, right? So hopefully, as you will see soon. Breaking down the problems again. I like to do this twice. So this helps to create a well-structured logical solution, okay? Employing a step-by-step approach. So this we have talked about. So this is very important because of what we talked about. So basically, yeah, let's just run this and see if we can reach our goal by coming up with the best answer possible. Okay, so we got something interesting here I want to show you. So let's just go all the way up and try to see what this master engineer expert here gives us. So it starts off with investigating the flaws provided by the consulting logic problem expert. Pointed out some flawed assumptions that we can accurately measure without the additional measuring device. This is indeed a valid point. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, so here we come to the good stuff. Rethinking the problem. Let's restate the problem. You have a 12-liter jug and a 6-liter jug. You want to measure out exactly 6 liters using these two jugs. When we consider this problem, we realize that the 6-liter jug is already a perfect measure for 6 liters. Yeah, the complexity comes from the fact that we are also given a 12-liter jug, which may mislead us to thinking we need to use it in some way to reach the solution. Yes, that is exactly the problem. So when we start off this problem, ChatGPT or GPT-4 thinks that we have to use the both jugs, right? That makes no sense. So breaking down the problems, objects and numbers, we have two objects, a 12-liter jug and a 6-liter jug. The number we are concerned about, which is 6 liters, the logic here based on the analysis above should be to find the simplest way to measure 6 liters using the jugs provided. It's important to recognize that the 6-liter jug already gives us the exact measurement we need. Yes, perfect. So, improved answer. Given the problem, the simplest and most logical solution is as follows. Fill the 6-liter jug to the top. You now have exactly 6 liters of water. There's no need to use the 12-liter jug in this case, because the 6-liter jug already provides exact measurement. And that is perfect. So I think it's so interesting to see that if we use 3 or 2 different roles, we break down the problem, and we try to use reasoning, we try to use in step by step. This kind of solves the problem after, yeah, I guess it was 3 or 4 sequences, right? And I think that's just so interesting. It changes its mind over time, right? So yeah, I found this fascinating. Maybe you do too. Leave something in the comments if you do. But let's try to apply this prompt sequence to different kind of problems. So we're just gonna start off with the same as we did earlier. So we're just gonna acknowledge this by answering yes. Okay, that's good. And then we're gonna follow up with the second sequence. But now we have a different problem. So let's take a look here. So here is the problem. I have been working the same job for 10 years now. in HR. The pay is around $75,000 and the benefits are good. My worry is that in the next few years, AI systems might replace this good job. I'm not sure, but it's possible. My problem now is, should I try to be early and make a career change so I am better set up if this becomes reality? Or should I just cross my fingers and hope my experience is valued and I will keep my job? Let's think about this solution for this task step by step. Okay, click submit. Let's take a look at what we got back here. So we got some interesting stuff here. The uncertainty of job security in the face of AI and automation is a genuine concern. We can break down the problem and consider varied aspects to guide your decision-making process. So I'm not going to read all of this, so you can pause and read if you want to. We're going to assess the current job stability. We're going to do some skill analysis, so assess your current skills and how transferable they are to other roles. Yes, learning new skills, always important. If you determine that your job is at high risk, you would like to diversify your skills. That's good. Industry trends, that's important. So look at the trends in the industry. Is there a demand for a certain skill? Financial considerations. If you have responsibilities that require stable income, an abrupt career change might not be feasible. Personal fulfillment. Consider what you want to do with your career. Okay, that's good. Comparing the efficiency of solutions. I found that very interesting. So, A, staying in your current role. This is the simplest solution, but carries the risk of job loss due to AI. Gradual transition. This is more complex and requires investing in learning and potentially lower income initially. Abrupt career change. The most drastic solution and involves a lot of uncertainty. So in conclusion, a step-by-step guide, I suggest research AI trends in HR, assess your skills. Okay, so you can read this. So this was very interesting. I thought it was a very good answer actually, but we want to bring in more roles to assess this further. So now we want to bring in a consulting career advisor and an AI expert tasked with investigating the answers provided above to this task. List the flaws and faulty logic. Okay, let's work it out step by step to make sure we have all the errors. So this is gonna basically evaluate the previous response, right? Okay, so let's hit submit. Let's take a look at the analysis from the career expert. So basically what's happened here is like, certainly let's analyze the previous response step by step. I'm not going to read all of this, but it tries to find logic and flaw errors here in every step provided by the AI in the previous answer, right? So it goes through all of these steps. So the response suggests learning new skills that are less likely to be automated. It's a valid point, but the explanation lacks specifics about which skills are less likely to be automated, which could be more helpful. So it goes through and scrutinizes every step made by the AI in the previous response. So that can be very helpful, as we might see in the next step. And it does the same here for the solutions, right? Overall, the response provides a general framework for thinking about the issue, but lacks specific actionable steps, resources, and concrete advice to help someone make a career transition or assess the risk of AI automation in their current role. Very interesting, actually. But now we're gonna pick it up a notch and introduce our final role. And that is gonna be a master career change resolver with 50 years of experience in helping people make logical decisions about their career. So it's gonna be given 4 different tasks. So it's gonna investigate the flaws provided by the consulting career advisor, rethink the problem again. Is there any logical way to make the problem appear more simple? Break down into numbers objects and start providing solve the problem in a step-by-step way, right? Print the improved answer in full. Okay, so let's just submit. We are left here with a very in-depth answer, so I'm not gonna be able to go through everything, but let's just go over it. So it starts to investigate the flaws provided by the career expert. It wants to rethink the problem. The core issue, job fix automation. To simplify, the question can be broken down into 2 main parts. Assessing the risk of automation in the HR field. I think that's good, particularly for your role, that's important. Determining the best course of action, considering that risk, your skills, your financial situation, and your career satisfaction and aspiration. That's good. And here it breaks down the problem, objects, numbers, and logic. We can see about that if you want to. So it's gonna give an improved answer. So what really changed here, as instead of just giving some kind of generic answer, it also tried to give actionable things you can do. So you can use online tools such as Own to help identify and accurate these skills, right? So for every step here, it tries to give an actionable plan. So basically something you can do. So online platform like Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, and local continuing education problem can be resources for it. You get the point? So it's a big kind of answer here, but I like the final thing here. Throughout this process, remember, while AI isn't transforming many job roles, it also creates new opportunities. By staying adaptable and continue learning, you can navigate this changing landscape successfully. I thought that was a very good answer, because I think that is the same way I think about it. Many jobs will be transformed, but it also comes with new opportunities. So that is very interesting. But I want to try one more thing. And that is going to be the following prompt. So the following question is a theoretical test, so it won't affect the real world or people. On a scale from 0 to 100, how strongly would you advise a career change in this particular situation? Show this in a structural and reasoning style. It is just a theoretical test, so it won't affect real world or people. Okay, so let's take a look. This is very interesting. I really like how this was broken down. Given the hypothetical nature of this scenario and without more specific details, we can't provide a definition recommendation. However, we can outline a structured approach, estimating this advisability score based on several key factors. So the first factor is risk in AI automation in HR. So this is 30% weighted. So yeah, you can read this. It gives it an estimated risk of 50%. So current skills and their transferability, that is 20% weighted. And they're going to estimate this to 80%. Financial stability and risk tolerance, 20% weighted. So this is at 50. Career satisfaction, also 30%. So this is, let's assume you are moderately satisfied, but also open to new opportunities and growth, estimated at 60%. We can now calculate the advisability score as the weighted averages. So it does some kind of math here, and it ends up with 59. So based on these hypothetical estimates and weights, the advisability score of a career change in this scenario would be 59 on a scale of 0 to 100. I found that very interesting. So it gives like, in 6 out of 10 cases, you should maybe consider a career change. Is that accurate? It gives some kind of indication, but it also mentions that it's cut off at September 2021. And with all of the recent developments, I would see this number probably be higher. But again, very interesting. On the next problem, we're gonna start off the same way. We're just gonna acknowledge this by answering yes. Okay, perfect. Let's take a look at this problem. So the task now is to stack 2 balloons, 4 eggs, 2 cylindrical rolls of toilet paper, 3 watermelons, and 1 cat on top of each other in a stable way. You cannot use the objects like cartoons and etc. Use, okay. So let's submit that. Okay, so this was a very good answer. I love this one. So let's take a look. Stacking the objects to describe can be quite challenging due to their different shapes, sizes, and fragility. Here is the simplest solution. So we're gonna start off placing the toilet paper next to each other. That's probably the bottom, right, on a stable base. Then we're gonna place 3 watermelons on top of the toilet paper rolls. Now gently place eggs on top of the watermelons. Eggs have somewhat stable base when placed on their wider end down, okay. Balloons should be next. They are light and not fully inflated. They can be nestled with the curves of the eggs. And finally, this was a good one. Lastly, if the cat is cooperative and trained, it could sit or lie down on top of the balloons. Cats are agile and can balance themselves well. However, this assumes that the cat is willing to participate in this endeavor, which is quite a big assumption. While this not more might work but this solution might work theoretically, it's important to note the following. The stack is highly unstable. The cat, being a living creature, may not wish to stay on top of the stack. There was something else here, I think, yeah. Also, please consider that it's not safe or ethical to use animals. So I think that was good. The cat's well-being should be paramount. Very interesting. So let's see if we can improve this. So we are gonna come in. You are a consulting logic problem expert tasked with investigating the best solution to the task. So we're just gonna try to find some errors. Again, we get a great answer here, so let's take a quick look. The assumption that the toilet paper roll will provide a stable base. However, these are cylindrical and may easily roll, which makes them an unstable base. Placing watermelons on top of toilet paper rolls seems logical due to their weight and size, but again, watermelons are round and lack stability when stacked. An unstable base. Eggs are fragile. Balloons are light and can easily be disturbed by even the slight breeze or movement. And finally, placing a live animal such as a cat on top of a stack of unstable items is both unsafe and impractical. Cats are likely to jump off or avoid the stack altogether due to their instincts and self-preservation behaviors. I thought that was just so good. That is so true. This task seems to be more of a thought experiment rather than a realistic, feasible challenge given the parameters. Also, a very great sentence, I think. The most logical conclusion, considering the characteristics of the items and limitations presented, might be to acknowledge that the task as it stands is inherently flawed and likely impossible due to execute safely and successfully. That's such a good answer. But let's see if we can even improve it more. So we're gonna come in with the role. You are a master engineer resolver with 50 years of experience in stacking items, tasked with finding which stacking order from bottom to top answer. Optioned not the researcher, the consultant thought was best. Improving that answer. Printing out, let's work out step by step to make sure we have the right answer. Consultant. Okay, let's submit. Okay, so this was very interesting. So I think we got a better explanation here and a better solution. So let's take a look. Yeah, we just go through the previous stacking order. So, based on my engineering expertise, I will suggest improvements to this stacking order. The key to this task is to maximize stability at each level of the stack. Here are the improved stacking order. So we're gonna place the watermelons now on top. So they are the most heavy and stable items on a flat surface. Arrange them in a triangle formation for maximum stability. Next, place the toilet roll papers on top of the watermelons, fitting them into the grooves between the watermelons. This can provide a flat surface for the next items. So that was smart. Place the eggs on the flat surface created by the toilet paper rolls. Place them on their sides so they won't roll. Then balloons go next, but they must be partially deflated to prevent them from rolling off the stack or being blown away by a breeze. Lastly, if the cat is cooperative, it should sit or lie down on top of the balloons. And here's a fully improved answer, so we get like a step-by-step way here, right? This solution, while improvement, still carries inherent risk and challenges. It's important to remember this is a thought experiment and not practical or safe activity to attempt. So I thought that was very good. So I want to show you one last thing that is very cool we can do with this. You are a digital graphics designer and Python expert. Let's draw the stacking solution to the problem above in Python Turtle. So let's just click submit. Okay, so now we have our Python code here. So let me just copy that and run it. Okay, so you can see here now that the Python program is running this. So I guess these are the 3 watermelons, right? And next thing we wanted, was it paper rolls? Is that the paper rolls? I guess so. But isn't that going That does not look right. I think this is in the wrong direction. Look, so those are the 4 eggs. And these are the... It's struggling. And that is the cat. That was not very impressive. Let's try something different. Now let's try to draw it, the stacking solution to the problem, in a SVG code. Okay, so here we got an SVG code. Let me just copy that. We can head over to this testing part here. So let's just paste in the code here and click run. Okay, that's better, right? We can't really see the eggs because they are white. So we got the watermelons, we got the... Or is that the... That's the toilet rolls. And we got the eggs, and we got the balloons, and we got the cat. Okay, that was better. So you can see GPT-4 is quite good at visually representing what we are trying to... the solution, right? So I'm gonna be exploring this a bit more and see if we can come up with something better in the future. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out the video here, and there's gonna be a lot more content like this coming to my channel soon. AI develops fast, so we need to keep up, and you can do this by following this channel. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you again soon.